What a beautiful, beautiful morning here. Got a lovely creek running all night. That's almost all we heard last night. Not like a bunch of like Jake breaking going on. And
no, there was a Chihuahua that went for a walk this morning by us real early, but that didn't seem to bother Joel. It woke me up though.
I didn't even hear it. No. Oh, it's a big day. So today though, we're running errands. We're just doing, well, life in a Hawaiian shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like we got things to do. We got meetings. We've got a lot of errands. We've got to hit the Department of Licensing.
Yep, we've got to renew our driver's licenses.
So boring stuff today, but I figured it was a good day to talk about housekeeping stuff. So for example, one, if you didn't know, we have a new channel because we pulled all of our tech videos off. Why would you do that? Well, it turns out that the folks that came for tech videos did not stay for RV videos, and they were extremely, I mean, in terms of numbers on YouTube, they were viral.
Yeah. Right?
These are awesome videos, but it hurt all the rest of our videos. Took them down. It took about 45-ish days.
Yep.
And not just like take them down as an unlist, but like completely remove the videos. Now all of a sudden YouTube goes, oh, you're not a tech channel. The people that watch you are in this. And then they start recommending to others.
Basically, YouTube was just really, really confused about our channel.
So the funny thing about that though, is that they, the stupid like, there's an AI that you can see on like the creator side of YouTube. It's supposed to be there. I think it's called like Studio AI or something. I don't know what it is, but it sucked. It gave us completely bad advice. They're like, do not take the videos down. Just make better thumbnails, make better titles. And by the way, better usually means more clickbait.
Right.
And I don't like that. I try to make interesting titles, but not clickbait titles, so it doesn't work. Also, if you didn't know this, up there is where Wild Bill and Calamity Jane are buried.
Yes, that is true. There's a cemetery up there.
Cemetery, yeah. Anyways, I ignored that advice. Our revenue dropped to like almost zero.
Yeah.
Not that most people care about this, but eventually it's creeping back up.
Right.
You know, and that matters, right? When you're putting your for years, right? Been putting so much work into this channel and these videos, and we just cannot figure out why is nobody wanting to watch. Oh, look at the little buddings here. Spring is springing. Oh, that's cool. Nice. Now, I love watching RV living vlogs. I don't really watch much. I watch tech videos and RV living vlogs, and that's kind of it.
A few other things, but
there's a few like news-ish things, current event sort of things. I'm not watching mainstream media channels, I'll say that.
Yeah.
We've already talked about this. But I'm a connoisseur of fine RV living content. And I gotta say, I think that we make, and I'm not trying to be conceited about this, I think we make some pretty good stuff. I like to think that. I put a lot of effort. I put more effort in than many folks that we have watched over the years. And I enjoy, but I'm like, why in the heck are we not getting the views, right? And we're getting the subscribers, but the views aren't matching. That makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. So made this change though, and huge difference now all of a sudden. I mean, massive difference.
Yep, it's definitely paid off already.
Yeah, and so, and this is on our more boring style videos that have no drama in them, we're still getting the views. So this is great. Go figure, taking a video down, your most popular videos down, would make your channel grow. And
if you did come for the tech videos, go follow 2Byte Reviews because they're all there now.
Yeah, we'll get that channel to 1,000 subscribers, and that'll start to pay off, because it's a lot of work setting up a new channel. I know it might not seem like it, but like there's a lot of thinking, because the way that you position a new channel kind of matters. Even coming up with a thumbnail, coming up with a name. Yeah, that was hard. Oh my gosh, 2Byte Reviews might not stick, but it's what I got for now. Yeah. So anyways, go follow if you're interested in such. But we'll be talking about privacy, cheap internet, a couple tech reviews here. I don't know if e-bike reviews should go in there, because it's kind of a tech product, but it's also kind of an RV living product, right? Yeah, I guess we'll have to see how that plays. Yeah, I could see solar being on that channel, but I also, I think it also fits on Cozy Living Machine, because we live also. So anyways, that's the struggle, right? It's like, you want to niche, right? You want to stay in your niche, but you don't want to be overly broad or overly niched. So the viewer does not reward that. The other funny thing though is that not only are the new videos that we're putting out getting more views, but even old videos. I mean, I'm seeing videos from like 4 years ago. I can't believe we've been on YouTube for 4 years. Yeah. 4 years ago, are now getting views. So that's cool and kind of nuts. Now, funny enough, so we've been doing a lot of experimenting these last couple months since January with the video style. So I wanted to make the videos feel more real, because a lot of times videos on YouTube, what do we see? We see really bright, punchy images, really saturated, oversaturated sometimes. And I'm like, well, I want to make a really good, you know, almost like a movie-like video style. And so I decided to throw it all in and experiment. What's really funny is we were getting some feedback that, like, dude, these videos look like, basically they look like crap. Nobody really wanted to say it, which I would have appreciated the feedback of, like, hey, this is kind of my perception. But I did get a few folks that were like, yeah, these are really desaturated, they're really dark. And I'm looking on my screen, just as you were.
Yeah.
And then we moved the videos over to my phone and your phone, because they, you know, different displays, they all looked great. And I was like, what the hell? Like, how is this happening? Which obviously you guys know we've switched camera gear, trying to just have a better quality overall. We want to be more intentional with our videos. And yeah, this is a way to do that, I think. A way to do that, and I think this is probably the best way.
Yeah.
To me, I like the videos more. I do too. What's really funny though, is I'm like, okay, I'm following some, you know, advice from some people, and I go, no, I'm not, you know, and I spend, what was it, 2 months basically, all in all. Trying to perfect it, yeah. And past just picking the right equipment, right? That's like, okay, it's mobile enough, and it's this, it's that, it's got all these specs. This is a whole other thing, right? Yeah. But we get it, and then I have to perfect and tweak the videos, and then learn the new system, and then I'm like, okay, let me get the colors like this, and this, and this. So they looked perfect to me. Then I realized why we were getting the negative feedback, but not from everybody, because some folks were like, oh yeah, it looks fine. It just sort of looks like film, which I was kind of going, I guess, for a more warm. We wanted a little warmer. We wanted a little bit like when the clouds were out, we wanted to feel like the clouds were out. Yeah. Whereas a lot of times you film something with your phone, you could film at night and it looks like daylight, right? Right. But, you know, I'm like, I don't know, I want, when the clouds are out, it to be like 60% light. But a day like today, you know, I want it to be nice and bright. Looked good on my side, but it turns out my monitor settings were so messed up. So basically the way that your monitor interprets the data, the information, that was all wrecked. Yeah. So, womp womp. We even looked at the videos that we created 2 days ago. I mean, current time 2 days ago, not. Right. And one thing we found, our faces look super pink in one profile, right? These are called display profiles. They look super pink. They look super, like, ginger beard looks like an orange peel, right? Like, and whereas in real life, it's a little more muted. It's a little bit more brown, right? Yeah. There's you know, red in there, but like brown and red rather than pure orange, right? It looks more gingerbread than orange peel. Sure. So yeah, I'm like, what the heck? Now, but you saw, and on your phone and this and that, they all look normal. Yeah. And so one of the funny things is if I just try to turn something down a little bit, it doesn't make any difference. But again, I changed that profile. Now all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, right? And I could go actually edit and the way that highlights and shadows and midtones and color and even because you have to tweak things, one, to have your own style, but two, to make it look like it looks like in real life. Right. So that was one of the things I am like, I'm mortified, and I'm like using ChatGPT all the time because I'm like, did I just not know about this? And everybody else? No, it turns out this is absolutely something apparently a lot of creators do, and it's different for all the gear. We notice it less now because a lot of people are shooting consistently on the iPhone where it's using auto settings and it figures it out. We're not using auto settings here. There's not a lot. We're using some like auto white balance. So yeah, it's not, apparently it's not just us, which makes you feel a little better. Most people don't even know the settings exist. Yeah. And you wouldn't use this setting any other time either. Right. We did a lot of playing the like eye doctor game, like is A better or is B better? Now, how about A? How about B? How about A? How about B? How about A? How about B? Like we do a lot of that to try to like really make sure we're getting the right settings. And this is all probably just TMI, I might add. Like this is all behind the scenes stuff. But we kind of played around as well at ADB yesterday. I actually re-edited an entire video because I was like, I learned that trick as I'm exporting it, I'm like, no, I can't cancel that. And I'm like, but we've been playing around with aspect ratios. And so one of the things that I find very interesting, I think you like this as well. Yeah. vast majority, greater than 50% of our viewers. So it's, actually, I pulled this stat up right now. These are the hard numbers for our account here. One thing that's fascinating, and I had no clue, I did not expect this, 42% of all viewers are from TV. TVs, wide aspect ratios. What else do we watch on TVs?
Movies.
Movies. Love to watch movies. Love that cinematic, you know, style, for lack of a better term. 27.5% then are on mobile, which makes over 60% of our audience watching on something that's kind of designed more widescreen. And then you've got 20% on computer and then 9.7 on tablet. So we started playing around with aspect ratios. And then we go, well, as we're playing with the colors, I'm like, let me send this over to your phone. And then what if I could fill the screen of the phone, right? And actually, this got us some really good feedback. It was a 20:9 ratio, which fits your phone, fits my phone, and it's generally going to fit the phone. So it fills the screen a lot more. And we never had any complaints really about like, hey, I'm losing information, I don't have information, right? And the way that we're shooting and we're slowing down a lot, and then we're obviously editing the colors the way that we were, you know, I was like, this is more intentional. This is okay, we can afford this a little bit. And we did actually get, I think, a few comments that said, hey, there's something weird going on with your videos lately. And people didn't know what, right? Obviously, like the colors were a little weird, but also a few folks that say, hey, like, I'm seeing black bars now that I didn't used to see. Now, the difference is, of course, our videos don't have black bars. It's actually that the aspect ratio fills in from YouTube or whatever, as compared to shooting like a 16:9, essentially, which is the most common format here, and then adding the black bars afterwards just to fake the cinematic look. No, instead we're shooting, you know, in this ratio. And so there's a whole lot more technical details. I think I actually would make a cool video for the other channel.
Yeah.
Kind of really nerd out. That's just, I think honestly, that's just gonna be a throwaway tech channel, basically, where like, there's not going to be one single thing, but just tech in general, camera gear and whatever.
Yeah.
Not only have we kind of reversed course on the color, especially now seeing like how bad it was for other folks, because not all monitors are the same, but also we got with a taller video, which actually, believe it or not, when I shoot these videos, I forget what the ratio is, but you know, it's a little wider than it is tall. But even at 16:9 that you're seeing right now, there's still information on top and bottom that gets cut off. So it's been a long journey, kind of trying to play around and figure out what works and what doesn't, and how we can tell a story a little bit better, right? Because if you recall, back in, what was it, October, November, we were looking at, November, I think we were testing out 360 cameras, because I still think 360 cameras are awesome. That was not the move.
That was not the move for us, nope.
The editing process is horrific. Most people would agree with that. They're like, it sucks. Nobody's editing on mobile, right? That's just a slow. So, you know, there's that. Especially
not as a daily shooter.
And we do make these videos daily, right? I've been uploading them every other day. We're doing daily videos, multi-day videos, because we shoot here and we shoot some videos for other places also. But after trying all this out, definitely let us know your thoughts, because hopefully, you know, obviously we've gone back to a ratio that has a little bit more height, and the colors may be a little bit more vibrant, brighter, or whatever. I gotta say, compared to what we were seeing on our monitor, I actually like the old style, that temporary style, a lot better. I thought that was a lot more intentional. Hopefully this is a little bit easier to see, right? When I show you text, you can actually read it, you know?
Yeah, hopefully overall, like, people think it's better. We still like the old edit. We put a lot of time and effort into that one, but hopefully this is something you guys like a little bit better.
Yeah, and one thing I find funny though is, like, you'll notice there's a little bit of background blur here, and there's a lot more clarity. I'm actually shooting in 6K and exporting in 4K for those that care. And there should be a lot higher fidelity, higher definition, higher quality, and a lot of what today's cameras are, in our sensors, pretty big, but a lot of folks that are shooting on a phone, you know, you're not getting that background blur. Or a lot of folks will do the DJI Pocket, whatever the hell, right? It's like 3, they're coming out the 4. And a lot of what that is a small sensor. And the Pocket 3, I think, even has a slightly larger sensor than some. But there's still, like, some of that, like when you see the background blur on a phone, you can tell, like, you know it's fake. It's that portrait mode. I don't like that. It's not authentic. It just looks cheesy to me. And so we're avoiding that. I think this is a nice middle ground. You can still see the background, but it is, you know, a little bit more focused, hopefully. And a hell of a lot sharper. So if I put something in front of the screen, you know, it can actually focus on that rather than being completely blurry like with our DJI, which I still love that camera so much. Oh, and before we take off, we finished that show, You Are What You Eat.
Yeah.
Twin, whatever the hell. What crap. What absolute trash. Those are like, what, hour-long videos?
Yeah.
Or maybe a little, I don't know. There's 4 of them, and it's the most biased, incomplete, you actually remember at the very end, right? So, and it's interesting because they take these twins, they got omnivore and then vegetarian, and in almost all of the circumstances, and they really stretch this, right, to make it seem like the vegan was better. Yeah. But in almost all instances, the vegans lost muscle mass, which is not a good indicator of overall metabolic health, right?
Right. And it's not like they lost a bunch more weight than the omnivores. No. And some of it was muscle mass. They lost at or less than the omnivores, and it was muscle mass. Which is not to say that like eating vegan or vegetarian is inherently bad if you get all your vitamins. That is not at all. Like if it works for you, and generally like healthy eaters are much more fit. Right. But it's so crazy to me to create this whole documentary, and you know they spent hundreds of thousands at least, right? And this was a Stanford study. It was an 8-week study. That's not enough to prove anything at all remotely close. Yeah. But then to literally bias the results so significantly, and they didn't even report the results for one set of twins. Like they just like cherry picked certain things. Yeah. I was amazed. Well, that, and then they were talking about this restaurant. One of the big stories that they followed was this restaurant in New York City that was like basically like ended up being voted world's best restaurant. And then the head chef took the menu and made it fully vegan. And they were basically talking about how
he's like Michelin star guy, yeah.
Yeah, like so sustainable, so great. This is gonna be a vegan Michelin star, blah blah blah. And then we looked it up. This video this like series came out in 2024. Yeah. By the end of 2025, he was serving meat again. Like.
Yeah, and he made such a point about like, no, we need to change the world and all this crap. But it turns out people don't want that, which is one of the reasons he listed. And it's like, well, you know, people are gonna vote with their dollar. You're spending easily, like for 3-4 people, over $1,000.
Yeah, it's like $335 a plate. Not that
that's any sort of indicator as to like, you shouldn't do vegan or vegetarianism, or you should be carnivore or omnivore or whatever. But like, I'm just mad that we wasted our time. And you get into like version, you know, episode 2 and episode 3, and you're like, I gotta keep going. Right. Like, I wanna see how stupid this gets. Oh, it gets stupid. Yeah. I was so mad. Anyways, we've got some things. Let's go run some errands. Oh my gosh. So the renewal of driver's license failed. Why? Because we forgot. We don't stay in RVRs. We don't stay in campgrounds. And why would we get a motel when we have our home with us? Well, you need a receipt showing that you've stayed at least 1 day in South Dakota in order to qualify for a license renewal. I knew that was the case for the new license, but I'm like, we're here in person. You'd think they waive that for in-person visits? Because like nobody's like just driving here from California and not staying the night here, right? Right. So, you know, or whatever. Okay, not a big deal. We'll figure that out. We'll find the cheapest way to do it. Could be a motel or hotel is cheapest. Maybe a campground. She recommended like the downtown Spearfish campground. Maybe we do that. But otherwise she was on the last step too, and she goes, okay, do I need this? Even she didn't know. Yeah. So, which makes me feel better. So, well, we'll do a little bit of digging around, and then we have a meeting in another hour or so. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to be dumping the tanks here where Emma is going to check us in at the Spearfish City campground, and we'll actually be staying for 3 nights here. We were originally just gonna do the 1 night, but we love South Dakota and Spearfish. Such a beautiful little city. They have the nicest people here, I tell you, the nicest folks. And the best part about this is it's only 21 bucks a night, right? And so the next cheapest campground that we saw were, I think, $58 plus tax, plus a booking fee or something like that. So 3 nights here is about the same, maybe even less than 1 night there. So that's really cool. Now, the $21 a night is because we're in the off season technically. So May 1st to October, of course, then it's going to be a little bit higher. But honestly, this campground, wait till we show you. I think it's a nice setup here. We'll have electric, we won't have water, but we do have a dump station and then water here. There's certain lines that are charged. And I also love the fact that the dump station's sloped. So like your tanks will go ahead and release their contents a little easier, let's say. This is really nice. I was a little surprised that it required like proof of an overnight stay. I mean, it's not that big of a deal either way, but I'm really glad that we can get 3 nights and we can catch up on stuff, do a little cleaning, and we'll have power. The funny thing is actually the $21 price, you have either, like, you can go and you can boondock like we would normally do, which apparently we're not the only people that do exactly what we do. There's a few other folks here at the campground who are doing something kind of similar. Full-timers, and the gal at the front desk was like, we get people all the time that are like, oh, I don't really need power. I've got my solar. She points at our panels as well. I thought it was really funny, but she goes, yeah, but if you want the hookups, why not? Or just park wherever, which is awesome. This is really cool. Or you can do, you park your trailer where there would normally be tech campers and stuff, and right on the river, even where we're at. Site 5. Basically right on the river, which is awesome. All right, got our water heater going, filling this guy up. Good stuff. So what did that end up being? What did that cost?
Like $62.
$62 for 3 nights with power.
63 maybe.
60, and we can, water and dump. That's not terrible.
No, not bad at all.
I mean, anywhere else, even 1 night would have been probably in the 70s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and they're friendly. They're really cool. This is actually a huge area. Well, again, we'll do a little walkthrough. You've got all this area. So you have one river over here. I think that's a river or a creek?
She called it a creek.
Creek? Well, anyways, there's water over here. There's water over there where we're going to be. You got some nice friends. And she was super kind. She goes, hey, I know there's going to be people here in the next couple days, so go ahead and move over if you want to have a little bit of space. Mm-hmm. What? Like, that's so nice.
Yeah.
And we have a view of the river.
Right
there. Like, that's super cool. So, yeah, well, I mean, again, I think if we have the opportunity, why not take advantage of having power? Which is easy enough, but yeah, there's no wind today.
And we're right across from the fish hatchery too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no wind today. There are some bugs here, which I bet is because of the water. They like the water here.
Yeah. There's a coffee shop a half mile down the street.
Remember that time people are like, let Emma have her coffee if she wants it. Yes. Like, I'm gonna stop you from drinking coffee. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a beautiful area, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. Yeah, I was expecting, I don't know, for a city park, so city run, it's by the city of Spearfish. I don't know what I was expecting, but I didn't think it was gonna be this nice.
Yeah.
I do sure like having 2 sizes, a 50-foot and a 10-foot. And generally we like the 25, which we had for a very long time. The 50 is usually gonna be where it's at.
If we need a long hose, we're gonna go for a really long hose.
Yeah, that works. It's not that much more of a hassle, so. All right. There are a lot of reflections out here, I've noticed.
I wonder if the reflections are full-timers?
Yeah, she said that all these folks in here are full-timers, including us. Man, oh man, look at this little slice of paradise. The weather's great, got our awning open, got our chairs all set up out here, a little rug. We show you that rug? I think we did.
My dad got us that rug for Christmas.
Yeah, the stakes kind of suck, but we got 3 out of 4 in, so good enough. There's no wind today. Oh man, yeah, it's always important to open these up. As you see the, you can see because the rain captures in there, I don't know. It's easy enough to clean off the mold, but it's just kind of a meh. But we've got power hookups. We don't need them, but I mean, if we have access, why not?
We have them, why not?
Yeah, I think it's funny though how much this window right here opens up, It's a different, obviously a different style window. These are much larger. We have a fire pit if we want it. Again, 21 bucks a night.
Yeah, this is nice.
That's hard to beat. It's hard to beat. We fit well within our site, and we don't have any neighbors over here. Thought about grabbing that corner site, but these were a little bit closer to the river, which is right here. Oh my gosh. So during the summer, people could, you know, or I guess anytime really, but you could park right here.
This is primitive, yeah, I think.
But look at this. Wow. I bet there are salmon in there too. Oh, that's so cool. Right here, like 5 steps away. That is awesome. You can't beat this. What in the world? I suspect tonight we'll be setting our AC on auto. Not to brag. Maybe. But actually, so that's a funny thing. Somebody had asked how our turbo is doing in a comment recently, and so far so great. Obviously we had a little mishap. They had to send a new plate. It's been perfect ever since. Power-wise, very impressive. Yeah. We just haven't needed to run it on high. The real question though, obviously because it's a little louder than we'd like, does that matter when you're getting really good cooling performance? But we haven't been in 90+ degree weather to test that. Right. We were, it was like 92, I guess, at the Badlands. And we did fine. No, it did great. So, yeah. You know, but it was taking about 810 watts, from what I recall. Right. But we were able to run that while we were in full sun. I let the batteries charge all the way up while we were running the AC. Then once they were at 100%, we went ahead and ran the fridge. Yeah. Yeah. No issues at all. So I'm excited. Anyways, this is a long video, I'm sure. I'm excited. We'll do a little walk around here, maybe tomorrow. We have a meeting to go to, and Joel really wants to get a coffee before that, so I want to make him happy. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Lots of updates here. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Bye.